Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go to Cash App, $Deem by any means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. Y'all see that heart with the $? You already know that's the super chat. You could press that at any time your heart desires. Say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. Shakur, no, no, Shakur, Shakur's. Oh Lord, I am hoping that what I heard is not true. Oh man, I like to all my Shakur Stevenson fans, y'all. Y'all know that's my guy, and I hate doing this. Um, so we're gonna take everything with a grain of salt because until I hear Shakur Stevenson address this, until we get asked about it, then I'm not gonna run with it too much. But Shakur Stevenson said PBC reached out to him. And we've been hearing that about PBC reaching out to him, but he never heard nothing back. Well, Steven Espinoza basically came out and said that that is a lie. He definitely heard back. It's just that Shakur Stevenson wanted to fight. He wanted a long-term deal with the PBC. And I ain't mad at him for that neither. The problem is the fight that they offered him was Gervonta Davis on a one-off fight. The problem with that is Shakur Stevenson said he didn't want to wait with PBC to sign a long-term deal and then fight Gervonta on the fourth, fifth, sixth fight of his deal with PBC. The problem with that is they offered Gervonta Davis immediately. So Shakur said he wanted Gervonta Davis immediately, and they gave him Gervonta Davis immediately, and that the only way he would sign a long-term deal is if they gave him Gervonta Davis in the first or second fight. They did him one better. They gave him Gervonta Davis outright. And then he could have still been a free agent and signed wherever he was at, wherever he wanted to go after that. No different than Devin Haney did with Ryan Garcia. Oh man, this is crazy. And then to all y'all peoples that was saying Boots was ducking, I hope that you keep the same energy. I hope you keep the same. This is what I'll be talking about with boxing. I hope y'all keep the same energy. Now, I ain't going to just take what Steven Espinoza says, but I also don't know Steven Espinoza to be lying, unlike Eddie and Oscar and all of these other people that be involved with stuff. I haven't caught Steven Espinoza capping too much. I've caught Steven Espinoza lying less than Dan Raphael, Mike Coppinger, Mike Benson, any of those guys. He's been much more credible. Y'all remember Bill Haney saying he never talked to PBC about Gervonta Davis when I was on BFTB program, and he called Bill, and then Bill said he ain't never talked to Steven Espinoza, and then Steven Espinoza came out and said that that was all cap, and then months later, Bill Haney came out and admitted that that was all cap, that he did talk to Steven Espinoza. They just ain't like what they was hearing. Well, Bill, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. You said you ain't talked to the man at all about Gervonta Davis. And that came to find out that that wasn't true. And mind you, y'all, Steven Espinoza didn't trash Shakur Stevenson in this. He said Shakur, he didn't want to take the Gervonta Davis fight. He wanted a long-term deal, so he went and did what he did. The problem I got with that, if it's true, is it goes against what Shakur said publicly that he wanted. He said he didn't want to sign with PBC because he wasn't sure they was going to offer him Gervonta Davis. And he said that he didn't want to fight Gervonta. He didn't want to have to do 3-4 fights before he fight Gervonta Davis. That was Shakur Stevenson that said that. Shakur said that. They did him one better. You ain't even got to sign to us long term. Just fight Gervonta. You can get the fight you want. Your biggest legacy fight, the biggest bag you ever going to get. Out of everybody you've been fighting, you're going to get more than that times 3 just fighting him. Oh man, this is bad if this is true because it contradicts everything that Shakur Stevenson been telling us. He said he didn't hear back from PBC. Come to find out that that's not the truth. He said he didn't know about this, that, and the third. Come to find out that's not the truth. And then all you people that was saying Jerron Ennis is ducking because he ain't take his biggest fight on a one-fight deal. And this is a cross-promotional deal. Shakur was a free agent. He wouldn't even have had to cross-promotion nothing. He would have been able to do what Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford did the same thing with Earl Spence, people. If this is true, that's all he had to do. The same thing Terrence Crawford did. So it's not that he got lowballed. It's not none of that. Steven Espinoza is saying the opposite of Shakur Stevenson. That's why I got to wait for Shakur Stevenson to come out here and defend himself. Because I heard what Shakur Stevenson said. I watched it. I don't need to ask, do homework, do research. Shakur Stevenson said, if I do sign a long-term deal with them, how I know I'm going to get Tank? I'm not trying to fight Tank on a fourth, fifth, third, sixth fight of the deal. Come to find out they was offering them Tank immediately. He wouldn't even had to do that. Man, if this is true, man, I'm sorry, my man Shakur. I'm sorry, Brody. I got to use the duck word if this is true. And what makes it so much different is that Shakur already talked about this situation. He already talked about this situation on why he wouldn't go to PBC. But then Steven Espinoza come out and says the complete opposite, that Shakur would have got what he wanted. He would have got Gervonta Davis immediately and then wouldn't even have had to commit to PBC long term. He could have still went with Eddie and did anything else he wanted to do. He could have got his biggest fight out the way already. They could have been fighting already. No different than what Terrence Crawford did. No different than what Devin Haney did with Ryan Garcia. No different. And it's even better for him because he literally just became a free agent. He could have made that happen if this is true. If this is true, because I don't know Steven Espinoza to be a liar. I don't know Steven Espinoza to be a liar. Have we caught Shakur Stevenson in a few caps? Absolutely, we have. But if this is true, I'm sorry, Shakur, bro, you my guy. I can't defend it, though, bro. I got to call you a duck. I can't defend it because you came out and said the complete opposite. That you wanted Tank right away and you wasn't sure you'll be able to get Tank right away. Come to find out they offered you Tank and then you said that you didn't hear nothing back from them and that you didn't, it was a phone call. And this is what I be telling y'all, man, you got to take things with a grain of salt. And then what happened to we ain't going to negotiate with Gervonta Davis? Then it make it seem like what Eddie was saying got to be the fucking truth if we going to go off of what Eddie be saying. It's just all bad, man. I hope Shakur Stevenson sees this. I hope he gets asked about this to defend himself, to say if Steven Espinoza is lying or not. So then we could try to get to some common ground because I'm not going to just put that on the man. And I'm not sure about everything because Steven Espinoza even said that he can't go into everything. So then that leaves room up for, well, if you can't go into everything, then we got to give Shakur Stevenson some grace. But if it is true, then it just Shakur Stevenson lied to us. He said that he didn't hear back from PBC. He said he didn't know nothing, like they didn't offer Tank and all of that stuff, and then come to find out that that part's not even true. And which kind of make me be like, yeah, why would PBC reach out to you if it wasn't for Gervonta Davis? It just, that part don't make sense. So they reached out to you for Tank, but Shakur never gave us the reason why it didn't happen. He just said we didn't hear back. You probably did. Did you not hear back on a long-term deal? Probably not. That part is believable. But that's not what Shakur said he wanted from PBC. He said he wanted to fight Gervonta, make the fight happen. He want Tank immediately. They gave him Tank. And he wouldn't have had to wait 3, 4, 5 fights to fight Gervonta. So it just contradicts what he said he wanted. When we was talking about him signing a long-term deal with PBC, it's because we didn't even think that they would offer Gervonta Davis right away. But if they offer Gervonta Davis on a one-fight deal, you can't turn that down the same way y'all holding Jerron Ennis to this right now. But the difference is Jerron Ennis is signed to a promotional company. Shakur wasn't at this time. Because Steven Espinoza said, then Shakur Stevenson went on and did what he did, which means that was during that time that he got a call and wasn't a free agent yet. Oh, man. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I just want to see if y'all going to keep the same energy. That's all I ask. I just want to see if y'all going to keep the same energy. Do y'all got the same standards and all of that? Because Steven Espinoza said they offered him a one-fight deal with Gervonta Davis. That's what Shakur Stevenson said he wanted. He said he didn't want to wait 3-4 fights to fight Gervonta Davis. But this is the only caveat. Now, Shakur Stevenson could have said that, yeah, I don't want to fight Gervonta. I want Tank immediately, but I still want a long-term deal. Now, that's his out right there. No, they did offer Tank, but I wanted a long-term deal. I just didn't want to have Tank be at the end of that deal. Now, I still will have to call it a duck to a certain extent, but I can understand where Shakur is coming from in that aspect, though. I would be able to understand that. But this Gervonta we talking about, and then everybody keep telling me Gervonta's at a different standard. So I don't know, man. I don't know, and I hate to do this because I really like Shakur. That kind of hurt me, but everybody wanted to at me on Twitter. Everybody wanted me to talk about it. And I think even Shakur fans forgot what Shakur said, so they at me, Deem, see this? Yeah, I see it. And it contradicts everything that Shakur said he wanted, so don't start arguing with me about it. That's not what Shakur said. Shakur said he wanted Tank immediately. Now, Shakur's saying, yeah, I wanted Tank, but not on a one-fight deal. I just ain't want Tank to be at the end of the contract. That's his out. And I hope that he comes out and addresses it and says that. Because he's still going to get called the duck for it. There's no excuse not to take the Gervonta Davis fight. You're not a bigger star than Terrence Crawford. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Terrence did it. Like, I'm just saying. Like, it's Gervonta we talking about. This is not Virgil Ortiz we talking about. This is Gervonta Davis. And people was telling me even last night, shout out to my man KO, that Gervonta Davis is in a different situation. It's basically like, y'all, David Benavidez getting offered a Canelo fight and not taking it under any circumstances. It's just you're not going to be trying to hear that. Especially when you said, set up the fight, do the fight, stop ducking me, send me an offer. I'm trying to fight now. All of that stuff, then it doesn't matter if they give you a long-term contract after that because you rock with Eddie anyway. Oh, my God. Lord have mercy, man. These boxing streets, these YouTube streets, these boxing streets been on fire. I just want to see if people going to keep the same energy because y'all going off of what reporters say without proof and all of that stuff with Jerron Ennis. So can y'all please just make sure y'all keep the same energy? Because Steven Espinoza, I believe, is a part of the PBC. And that's probably one of the people that Shakur Stevenson talked to when he did talk to him. Oh, man. And maybe this is why Shakur Stevenson is so confident that they're going to fight this year. Another point I brought up. Y'all already know what this is, though, right? Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all.